What's up, everyone? I'm Jeffrey Hessler. Welcome back to my channel, Jeff Hess on College Football. Today we'll be talking about my top 5 games of Week 1 of the 2022 season. We are about 23 weeks away from the new season, so getting a little excited. Spring ball is right around the corner. Spring practices have already started, and a lot of spring games will be coming up here in April, so we're almost there. For my college football fans, we are almost there. If you didn't check out my last video, please go do so. We talked about a Jim Knowles tradition coming to Ohio State, of the silver bullet of the day, whatnot. One of the guys I mentioned in my first video is Tanner McAllister. He just lost his black stripe for the Buckeyes, was the first one to do so. If you don't know what that is, maybe I'll drop a video talking about it one day, but for now, go check that out. Congrats to him. Let's hop straight into it. The 2022 season to kick off, there's a lot of good games, a lot of story behind some of the games and whatnot, so we're going to jump straight into it. Coming in at number 1, we got Ohio State versus Notre Dame, and a lot of my Buckeye fans know this one is coming. I myself will probably be at this game, at least I want to. We got C.J. Stroud, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Travion Henderson, the Jim Knowles-led defense going against former Buckeye Marcus Freeman. Almost forgot his name there for a second. Shame on me. And then they also got James Laurinaitis, Buckeye legend, as their linebacker coach. So big fan of those two guys. Rooting for Notre Dame this year. I really like Marcus Freeman. He's a great players coach. His players really like him, and same James Laurinaitis, really good guy. Love to hear him talk back on the fan. But a lot of potential for this Notre Dame team. My personal opinion, I think Ohio State wins this at home. They have to redeem themselves for the loss to Oregon last year. And I do want to say this to the Big Ten commissioner, even though he's not going to pay attention to this at all. Can we please get a night game in the Horseshoe other than Penn State? Because this is a game that should be a night game as well as Oregon last year. Games like this should be night games. Big noon kickoff is great. That should be a Big Ten thing, but I think this should definitely be a night game as well as that Oregon game last year. So, killing me. Coming in at number 2, we got Oregon versus Georgia. And what's intriguing about that is Dan Lanning is taking over at Oregon. If you don't know who that is, he was Georgia's defensive coordinator last year. So it's pretty ironic that his first game as a head coach is going against his former team. Georgia lost a decent amount on their defense, but with the talent they bring in normally, I don't see them to drop off too much. We'll see what Stetson Bennett can be. Kirby Smart's a good coach, I guess. He won a national championship, so you can't knock the guy. Bo Nix, transfer from Auburn, is at Oregon now, and Mario Cristobal is now at Miami as the head coach. So a lot of change coming to Oregon. They also lost their running back and Kayvon Thibodeau. So we'll see how that turns out for them. I like Georgia in this game, honestly, but maybe Dan Lanning can do something special over there at Oregon. Coming in at number 3, we got Utah versus Florida. Florida is a traditional powerhouse, I guess you would say, for college football. They're a very prestigious program, but last year they finished 6-7. They landed Billy Napier. And Emory Jones was the quarterback along with Anthony Richardson. Emory Jones is in the transfer portal currently. Anthony Richardson most likely will take over. If it's not him, then Jack Miller out of Ohio State could take over. So, Billy Napier, he's really tearing it up in recruiting right now. He's got a lot of crystal balls, at least. Not sure how many commits he has, but in his first couple months as the head coach, I think a lot of recruits like him. I think he's a good players coach. And we'll see how that turns out. Utah is led by Cam Rising. If you don't know who that is, he is a great quarterback. Went toe-to-toe with Ohio State last year in the Rose Bowl. Really won the whole Utah fan base over and got his name out there. So they are losing their 2 running backs, TJ Pledger being one of them. So we'll see how Utah rebuilds this next season. I think they'll be all right. I like them and USC out of the Pac-12, so we'll see how it goes. Coming in at number 4, we got the Cincinnati Bearcats and Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, this is going to be interesting for Luke Fickell. Obviously, he got to the playoffs last year. Didn't go too well for him, but I mean, what a season that was for Luke Fickell. What an amazing job he's done at Cincinnati. I really love Luke Fickell, another Buckeye. Great coach, great guy. Players love him. But he will be having to replace a lot of his main talent last year, including his starting quarterback, Desmond Ridder. He's got to replace Ahmad Gardner, arguably the best corner in football last year, and Kobe Bryant, who won the award for best corner in college football last year, and a lot of other names on top of that. So we'll see how Cincinnati can rebuild. Arkansas is not a bad team. They won their last 3 games, led by KJ Jefferson, sorry, their quarterback, mobile guy, big size, cannon of an arm. I like Arkansas in this game just because of their maturity and experience, but we will see how Cincinnati pans out this next season. I don't think they drop off too much. I think Luke Fickell will have them going, and he's a great coach, so we'll see how it goes. Coming in at number 5, we have two powerhouses of college football who haven't really been on the upside these last couple years, unless you're talking about 2019. Sorry. LSU and Florida State. Brian Kelly is now taking over at LSU. We'll see what he's able to do. I think he turns that program around. I mean, he did it at Notre Dame. Not really turned it around, but he had a very good program at Notre Dame. He's got Jaden Daniels, who I mentioned in one of my videos, transfer quarterback from Arizona State. He's also got a lot of other guys from the transfer portal. So I like LSU in this one. Florida State's kind of getting there. Mike Norvell is a good coach. He was toe-to-toe with Brian Kelly last year at home when they played Notre Dame. Just couldn't get it done. We'll see what happens with Florida State, but they have taken a huge fall off ever since Jameis Winston left. So we'll see if they can turn it around. Hope they can. I love Florida State. Really just their tradition and their team. I like their colors, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens there. I also got some honorable mentions here. I got Clemson and Georgia Tech. Really excited to see if Dabo Swinney can turn it around. I'm not the biggest Dabo Swinney fan, but college football is weird without Clemson being at the top of the teams, honestly. They got Cade Klubnik coming in, true freshman quarterback. We'll see if him and DJ have a battle for it because DJ was not the greatest last year. Clemson as a whole was not the greatest last year. They're returning Brian Brees on the defensive side. James Skalski is not coming back for his 10th year to be a 10th year senior. But we'll see how Clemson pans out. I think they turn it around because they still have talent, and Dabo Swinney is a good coach. So look for them to make a big turnaround. They're playing Georgia Tech, like I said. So we'll see how that turns out. Also, coming in at honorable mention, we got Purdue and Penn State. Purdue's losing David Bell, but they also have another receiver coming in behind him. Their quarterback has a talented arm. We'll see how good he is without David Bell, but it should be intriguing to watch. Sean Clifford's coming back for his 10th year senior. No, he's coming back for another senior year, although I like Drew Aller, their freshman coming in. I think he's going to be very talented for Penn State. A lot of rumors of James Franklin leaving last year, but ultimately he did not. So a lot of potential on that Penn State roster. I'd honestly say they're the only team really that can recruit with Ohio State. No offense to Michigan. You got your one win, but Penn State's the only one that has shown they can recruit up there with Ohio State as they're in the top 3. I think they might be number 1 in the 2024 class. But even this past class, they were top 3 most of the run. So James Franklin's a good coach. Kind of struggles with big games at times, but Happy Valley is an amazing place. One of my bucket list places to go would be amazing, and it's always hard to win there. So with that being said, you guys make sure you drop a like if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're a college football fan, and we'll be back with another video here soon.